Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Today I am doing a song by the Goo Goo Dolls called Black Balloon. It's kind of an older song, but I really want to talk about it because I like it. It's an interesting song. It's a song about someone who's on heroin and then their lover watching them on heroin and wishing they wouldn't do it. And I think as they put it, I think Johnny Resnick said that it's about like someone who watching someone you desperately love destroy themselves. And this time I did look up the lyrics. Hold on, let me open my phone real quick. Usually I do this late because I don't think about it, but this time I try to come prepared. Open. You get a new phone. Anyway, so let's just get into this. I'm excited.
Baby's black balloon makes her fly. I almost fell into that hole in your life. You're not thinking about tomorrow, 'cause you were the same as me, but on your knees.
Okay, let's talk about this first verse right here. The song's structured in an interesting way, so bear with me. He says, "Baby's black balloon makes her fly," which obviously the black balloon represents the heroin, because no heroin comes in a balloon. If you know anything about heroin, it's often sold in little balloons, and people get it from there, cook it up, make it. So her black balloon makes her fly. Obviously, the heroin, it gets her high. She's up there. I mean, he says, almost fell into that hole in your life. And I take that to be like, I like you get high, and I almost fell into like that empty space. I almost fell down with you. I almost kind of destroyed myself along with you. And then he says, and you're not thinking about tomorrow because you were the same as me, but on your knees. And then it's like, or I can even take it as I was also on drugs too, maybe, and I almost became as bad as you or fell down there with you before I got myself clean. And then when that plays into, and you're not thinking about tomorrow because you were the same as me, but on your knees, basically, and you're not thinking about the future, you're only stuck in the here and now because you're only concerned with getting high, which when you're getting high means you're only concerned with the moment. And I was kind of the same as you. We were like that. That's something we had in common. Not thinking about the future, only obsessed with the now and what fix we can get right now. But on your knees, which means I take that as to like not literally on your knees, but like we were about the same, but you were much deeper in than I was, and I just didn't realize it maybe at the time, but I realize it now. Anyway, let's keep going.
Thousand other boys could never reach you. How could I have been the one? I saw the world spin beneath you and scatter like ice from the spoon that was your world.
Okay. Now this verse is interesting. Like we said, 1,000 other boys could never reach you. How could I have been the one? And that's an interesting turn. I used to think that like what he meant was like 1,000 other boys could never get to you, but I was the one who could. But I think now I take that to be more like a bunch of other people never could reach you. I don't know how I thought I could have been the one to do it, but 1,000 others couldn't. I was no exception in the end, really. I took it at first to mean like I'm exceptional in that regard, but now it's like I read it more like now that I really understand better the context, take that more as a I thought I was exceptional and could reach you, but really I couldn't. So that takes a different meaning when he says 1,000 other boys could never reach you. How could I have been the one? Like, how could I have been the one? How could I think that I was the one when I really wasn't? And then he says, I saw the world spin beneath you and scatter like ice from the spoon that was your womb. And I take that really interesting because it's like basically it's like I saw you basically spin out of control and everything that you held basically fall to the wayside and scatter like ice, ice being like, the heroin from the spoon that was your womb. And I think that you take that as womb, like literally, like from where you give birth, maybe there was a miscarriage, or even so, like your womb basically like being like your safe place, a place of warmth, a place of comfort. And basically, if I think about it now, like scatter like ice from the womb, from the spoon that was your womb. The spoon is the womb. The spoon is what she considers like the safe space. The spoon being the drugs, which basically to fill that hole, to fill that gap, and that very same place that she thought made her feel warm and safe is the very thing that caused everything to fall apart. Let's keep going. Now the chorus is really interesting because let's try to break this down how it's worded, because a lot of it is like, there's a lot of metaphor here. They're not saying anything directly, but it's still very clear, I think. When he says coming down, the world turned over, basically speaking like when you're coming down, you're coming back to reality. You're not in this kind of heady, lost space. And when you come back, everything around you is gotten worse. The world is basically not like how it was when you were up here. The world is flipped back to reality. And then he says, and angels fall without you there. And I think about that, and angels fall without you there. He goes, coming down, the world turned over, and angels fall without you there. And I could get this be like, and maybe like when you're high, you're up there with the angels, sort of. You're kind of in a heady space, and all the good feelings, or like the angels. Oh, that's an interesting one. And angels fall without you there. And the world turns over and angels fall. Or maybe like, your peace of mind, or angels representative of people, or the things around you that keep your life together, and all those things fall apart when you're not here dealing with it, when you're up there. Or maybe it's like, because when he says angels fall without you there, if you're not up here, when you come back down, like all that euphoria comes or falls away. Like the angels could represent that, like that euphoric feeling, and all of that crashes down when you're not there. And he goes like, and as I go on, as you get colder, and basically it's like I had to leave you, I had to move past this, and you only got worse as I was able to progress and move on. Or are you someone's prayer? So it's kind of like, the thing is, the chorus is kind of like a non sequitur. They all kind of relate, but they're all kind of separate. It goes, or are you someone's prayer? And that could imply that maybe you've died. Like, I moved on, I don't know what's happened with you now. Like, or are you basically just in someone's prayers? Is that where you only exist now? Or do you only exist where people pray for you that you'll get better? Is that how far you've fallen? That's kind of how I take it. Let me know what you think. Let's keep going.
Lies that always told you, when the love you never knew, what's the things they never showed you, that swallowed the light from the sun inside your room. Yeah.
All right, now let's break this down. You know the lies that they always told you, and the love you never knew. What's the thing they never showed you that swallowed the light from the sun inside your room? This one's a good one, but it's also kind of a tricky one. Because he's like, you know the lies that they always told you and the love you never knew. I guess like you say, like the lies are like you knew that you were being deceived. You knew that you were being misled, and the love you never knew. Like and like you thought like you were happy maybe, but you really weren't. You never really knew what it was. You never knew what that feeling was to begin with, and maybe the drug is based off heroin was trying to fill that hole of love in a sense, and but you never really knew what love was to begin with. And then like, what's the thing they never showed you? They swallowed the light from the sun inside your room. That's interesting because like what is the thing that they never showed you that swallowed like like what was it that I take that from like the sun inside your room that took away your light. Like what was the thing that you saw? What was the thing that you experienced that took the light from your world that led you to this place? That's kind of how I take that. I don't know. I'm about to think about that some more. Let's keep going. Okay, before we get back into the hook and wrap this song up, this is a very simple line, but I think it's a very poignant line when he says, "And there's no time left for losing. When you stand, they fall." I take that as like, there's no more time left to sit here and wallow and worry about the could haves, the would haves, the should haves. Ultimately, kind of like letting it go. Like there's nothing really that could have been done. I couldn't have helped you. I realize, and I'm tired of dragging my life down trying to save you, because sometimes when you stand, others fall. Sometimes in order to get better, you have to let go of people and let them destroy themselves in the end, you know? But anyway, let's wrap this up. This has been fun. Now wait, this is an interesting thing. My phone closed on me. He says, coming down, the years turn over and angels fall without you there, and I'll go home, and I'll go on to bring you home, all because and I'll become what you became to me, and I'll become what you became to me. That's interesting because when he says like coming down, the years turn over, when you're coming down, when you're getting back to reality, and you start to move on, the years turn over, the years move on as you start to move past this, and angels fall without you there. And you know what? Maybe that could mean like angels representing like friends, family. They fall when you're not there to see them anymore. When as time moves forward, you start to lose them all. People start to get lost. Things start to get lost. And then and I'll go on to bring you home because I'll become what you became to me. And maybe it's like I'll go on, like I'll progress and get better. Maybe I'll be able to bring you home. Maybe there's still a hint of hope there that I can change things and change you and help you because I'll become what you became to me. And maybe like what he means by that is like that seeing what this person became inspired him maybe to move on, to move forward, to move past it. And maybe he can become that inspiration to them to move past it, to move on, if they're still around, if it's possible. I don't know. But anyway, let's wrap this up. Okay, and that's very interesting. Nope, let's stop that. That's very interesting at the end of the video when she's drowning in the pool and ultimately no one could save her. Anyway, that was fun. I really liked that one. Let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? You want to hear more Goo Goo Dolls? Let me know in the comments. I'm excited for it. And until next time, I'll talk to you later, alright? Peace. Take it, Dancing Irene.
Take your best shot.